Not exactly hidden. All right, our lead panned out. Through the logistics of feeding the kids, we were able to find a total of 10 different facilities. The vast majority of them are far more crowded than the one we found first. Our smallest one has 20,000 children in it. What we didn't know was that it was about a tenth of the standard size. We believe it's one of the oldest facilities before they really ramped things up, hence why it's so much smaller. Koga explains to Puke and Chief Brewy, who both look deeply concerned. How many? Chief Brewy asks. All totaled. We have just shy of 2 million children dispersed among 10 massive facilities. They're disguised as factories away from the communities to keep things hidden. What's worse is that we're matching the names and faces of these kids to missing persons reports, and it's not just children. They've been using regenerating comas to wipe minds, haven't they? Yes, that's where a fair number of our new orphans come from. Their wives have moved on, their children are grown, and they're just gone. Who they used to be has been effectively murdered, and they'll need a delicate hand to try and get them back into the greater galaxy again, Koga remarks. How many total have nowhere to go to? Puke asks. It depends on what the local considerations of exactly what a mind-wiped child is compared to their former selves, Koga says, looking directly at Chief Brewy. Legally, they're considered their own child unless they can somehow display or prove that they have at least partial memories of who they used to be, which means their former wives will get a chance at adoption if their blood families are no longer around. Okay. Weird, but okay, Puke remarks. What about you? Koga asks. Are the Third Fleet captains on our side? That's a stretch, Puke says. They're willing to stand down, but I've got their communications bugged fairly heavily. While I was distracting them and getting a gauge on their personalities, Litha was inserting a few viruses into their communicators that will jump into their ships. Just a simple command line. Any communications outside of our ship goes through a basic algorithm with us first, and anything that looks like a warning and everything directed at Admiral Saberhagen gets approved by us before it goes through. With some editing, no doubt, Koga remarks. No doubt, Puke returns. You've already compromised the communication between our military forces? Oh, when this is over, I'm going to be speaking quite a bit with the Council, Chief Brewy says in horror. Sorry, Puke says. He actually does sound contrite. You're not the one that left a gaping hole in our cyber defenses. You just walked through it, she remarks. To be fair, Litha tells me that the security on their communicators wasn't too bad, but once we got into that, Puke says, before shrugging, there's a reason the Undaunted are still using physical paper. Crude, but effective, Chief Brewy notes before sighing. On my end of things, I've been able to gather a very large number of boots on the ground, trusted intermediaries and their trusted intermediaries. The news has passed quickly, and roughly half the police forces of Lilb Tulel will be able to help with the arrests. We just need coordinates and a time, which we're working on. We're taking names and putting everything down, making sure we have everything, and then clamp our fists around their necks. Puke states, and there's a knock on the door. Who is it? The door opens and there's Vernon with what looks like a power bar draped over his shoulders and a grin. It's done. We have the 11th pillar, Vernon says, stepping into the room. A twist of axiom on his part, and the Kutha pole lights up in sequences around the end, giving the impression of a lifting bar full of golden weights. This sucker will control the local environment in the Supple Satisfaction's main base with enough precision that will basically own it. How much control do you have? If you let me set up in there, I should be able to strangle just about all of them simultaneously. We'll just need to send in others to grab them. How? Chief Brewy demands in shock. That level of focus and multitasking is insane. I copied it off the pillars and found out that they have their own searching and observation algorithms. By using that myself, I will be able to keep track of everything there. Anyone I don't recognize as a sorcerer, officer, or undaunted, I will knock out as best I can. Okay, that's good. That's very good. It's a slam dunk if it works, but we should still plan in case there's further security measures we don't know there. Vernon warns. Yes, that's a good point. We also need to figure out how best to evacuate the children while hitting the supple satisfaction at the same time. There needs to be zero warning if we're going to do this right. Pukey returns. So, what's the plan so far? Hit everything at once. If one part gives a warning to another, then they're likely to slip away. We need sorcerers evacuating the children as the undaunted knock down the security and the police arrest everyone involved. All at once. That's a hell of a step, Chief Brewy says as she considers things. I'll get myself used to using this thing then. Just tell me when to lock down the dome, Vernon says as he walks out of the room with different parts of the bar shifting and glowing as he leaves. He's already practicing. He's focused, Chief Brewy notes. He's undaunted with a mission in front of him. It's getting done, Koga states. A lot of sorcerers are setting up two massive glades in the bright forest. One has a soporific effect that will knock out anyone sent in there. The other one is safe, soft, but effectively fenced in. Between the two, we should be able to easily keep the criminals contained and ready for processing and the children safe at the same time. Okay, so we have a temporary holding area for both the children and perpetrators. We just need to organize teams and go over strategies for the sorcerers and undaunted to be ready. I'll need to get a speech or two up and going in order to give the girls their marching orders when it comes to what's about to happen, as well as organize specific teams to go after our big targets, Chief Brewy states. Can we have your ship nearby just in case the Admiral starts something stupid? We may have to piggyback off the virus we already have in their systems to make sure that nothing happens, but we'll be sure. Exactly what kind of virus did you get into their systems? Hidden user with maximum authority. You need to go into the root command of the OS in order to see it, a timely process that is illegal to automate. Pukey explains and Koga frowns. It's illegal because automating the process makes a system so vulnerable that it's effectively pre-hacked, Chief Brewy explains and Koga nods. Chief, and as always, security can cut two ways. They put a lock on the door and they have to disarm the lock to go through it themselves. Koga notes with a grin. Indeed, so we've got the fleet at the very least miscommunicating, which means plenty of time to get officers in and out. What about the council women and our business women? Those are far easier. There is a simple process to get officers to speak to CEOs, and a counselor's location is always known. Those are locked down. And our celebrity target? Her fans have done the work for us, Chief Brewy says. All right then, we hit our targets tonight. Tell your girls to eat a light dinner so as not to be slowed down, Pukey says. Tonight? Chief Brewy demands. Tonight. The longer we delay, the more people get hurt and the bigger and bigger chance that... Pukey's communicator goes off. He answers it on speaker. Captain Schmidt. Shrike-Talon is assaulting the holding facility. The smaller one. Bike says on the other side. Well, that's not good. Not unless. Hit the fucker hard, blame the cops, and bring the man to me in chains for a talk. Pukey says as Koga lets out a low whistle and spreads the information thoroughly through the bright forest and everyone attached to it. He feels a vague thumbs up. Someone's already on the scene. We've got sorcerers on this, Koga says. Same for you. I need to speak to that bird brain, Pukey says, pointing right at him. Koga simple nods in assent. As he exits his now autopiloting ship, he grits his teeth and steels his resolve. It's time to end this. He doesn't know how many others are in there, but he's deliberately been screwing over their security for years. They forgot about him, about what they did to him, but he never forgot them and will never forgive them. The wind dances around his feathers as his talons clutch hard at his weapon. The entire building is being surrounded by and lightly toasted by automatic laser turrets on the air cars he's been collecting. He doesn't have a head for Axiom and hates business. But engineering? That's easy. Especially aerodynamics. There are only a few levels above ground and a few windows beside. He crashes through one and sees familiar faces even as his opening attack swings around the plasma thrower with underslung molecular bayonet. 2 people are sliced into bits and the plasma thrower sprays a stream of death around him. He hits the floor, rolls and rises up on his talons with the plasma thrower in his wings and ready to be used. There won't be any more room to fly, but that's fine. It gives him clear lines to shoot. For Intari, he roars out as the first few security fools he tainted the organization with rush him. They try to use their Axiom abilities, but the sheer thermal blast wave flash cooks the women before they can do more than unsheathe their weapon or make a single short-lived clone. The wretches in charge wanted obedience, so he supplied muscle too stupid to disobey and too stupid to fight someone with a proper weapon. "Jacob, what are you doing?" He's been recognized. He doesn't care. He's here to pull children out of hell and burn it all down as he leaves. "For Caliburn," he answers as he turns the plasma thrower around to pour burning death onto her. He recruited that idiot a month ago. How terrible is it that one you thought a dear friend turned out to be your most hate-filled foe? The Axiom tattoos he had scrimped for, saved for, and secretly acquired hum against his torso. He can feel the power flow through them and protect him from the heat and smoke. He just needs to get the kids under a targeting array and they'll be safely away. Away from here and to wherever he can take them. If he burns all the records and recording equipment, then they won't know it was him. They'll think he got spooked and ran. Not that he's running with the children. Then the temperature plummets. From blinding waves of heat wavering and distorting sight to a normal room. He turns and regards him. A face vaguely familiar. A Tret with a pet parattack. "Jacob Schreiktalon," he asks, and Jacob levels the plasma thrower at him. "I am Deputy Vahidullah Vaziri. You are under arrest." Jacob doesn't have time to deal with the corrupt and bribed officers. No way they got here this fast if they weren't on the take. The burning blue stream of fire flickers and dies away as something eats at the heat. Vaziri just marches up to him with an unimpressed glare. "Don't make this any harder on yourself." "No, I will not surrender, for Methusa," Jacob calls out as he rushes the officer and brings down the bayonet. It's dodged, and the man grabs the top of the weapon and begins wrestling for it. Jacob expected that, though, and his talons come up to rip the man's entrails out. They skitter off low-profile armor and succeed only in exposing the fact that the man is clearly ready for battle. The world jumps and stars dance in his vision as Vaziri slams the top of his head into Jacob's face. "Alama Achbil Hamar." Then they're both suddenly elsewhere as the Axiom and reality shifts. "Shrek Talan, if those children mean anything at all to you, stand down." A new voice barks and Jacob turns and sees a strange Tret with a prosthetic left eye and arm. "You nearly blew our own rescue operation by jumping the gun like that." "I what?" Jacob demands, and as he's no longer resisting, Vaziri steps back and out of easy striking range. "Who are you people? What's going on?" "We're your new best friends, and we're making your dreams come true," the Tret says, and Jacob scowls. "Oh? So you're going to free all the kids in that building and kill the bitches?" "No, we're freeing all the children in that and the 9 other, larger, buildings and arresting everyone involved from the financiers to the security and staff and even the customers." The man returns. "I am Captain Gregory Schmidt, and we need to talk, young man."